Contention.
Region Review.
The Raging Cajuns will be a source of pride for this university, for the alumni, fans, and donors as we achieve success in the classroom, in the competitive arena, and in the community.
It's about to get really fun.
We're looking for dudes that will stand up. Well, Coach, let me tell you today, I'm here and I'm ready to stand up. And I challenge you, Raging Cajun Nation, to stand up with us. Stand up with us. Let's lock hand in hand and let's walk through the gates of Omaha.
Hey, I love y'all boys. Let's grind every day starting today. Let's do it. Y'all ready? Alert! Ready? Who's that team ready? Who's that team ready? That's up.
I got one thing to say right here. Cajuns win!
Cajun Nation, hello once again. Welcome to another edition of the Raging Review podcast. Cajuns win, baby. Win number 10 on the year. Louisiana wins it up in Monroe over the Warhawks. Final score, Louisiana 37, ULM 23.
Win number 10 on the year, Louisiana.
That means the Cajuns are 10-2 overall, 7-1 in conference play, and they secure a spot in the Sun Belt Conference Championship, as well as clinching the Western Division title for the 5th time in 7 years. And we will find out tonight or even tomorrow where the Cajuns will end up next week, where they will play. As of right now, the favorability of hosting seems pretty high based on the 4 averages of rankings, but we are all JMU Duke fans tonight, because if Marshall gets defeated by JMU on the road, that means you will have another home game at Cajun Field next week. Anyway, guys, I'm Jerry, joined by Nick. We got a little bit of a different setup, but we were able to make it work. We do have the Twitter space open for all of you wanting to speak and give your comments. We will also discuss what we saw in the game today against the Warhawks, and we're going to, if you got some cigars, smoke them if you got them, because it was a nice win up in Monroe. Nick joins me as he's upside down. Nick, what's going on, dude?
I don't know what's going on, man. I'm in Lafayette just trying to make this work. I think we got to figure it out because I don't have the board. But yeah, upside down. That's why my video's off. But I got my mama here. I got my sister-in-law sitting there. She just had some knee surgery, but she all right. But so we got people here to chime in. But dude, excited we got this worked out, even though I'm upside down. I don't know what's going on, but we'll take it, man.
Wait, put your arms in the air as if.
Hold on. Let me turn this around real quick. Upside down, mama. Upside down, Karen. Yay! All right, go Cajuns. This is
beautiful.
This is how it happens in Lafayette. Upside down.
Nothing
I don't know.
wrong with that. I gotta tell you, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. That first half, once again, just like South Alabama, we fouilled a little bit, but in the second half, it was definitely a different story. I was very happy with the way the Cajuns were able to respond. Look, let's be honest. Before anybody, freaked out about the first half, we were all kind of panicking a little bit. But let's be real. This team, this ULM team, even though they were on a 5-game losing streak, they were playing for bowl eligibility. They were playing with their season on the line. So you knew going in that they were going to play really, really hard. And I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by that.
Dude, I'm so tired of hearing about on the ESPN broadcast about, this is rivalry, whatever. It really isn't. Like, ULM, look, came in, they started to play well at the beginning of the game, which I thought they would do. But ULM's not a good football team, and we did what we had to do against them. Yeah, it was, look, we did what we had to do. We know what we had on the line. It was a little iffy in the first half. My mom pissed me off because she kept saying, man, we're going to lose this game. We're not playing good. But you look what happened, man. So credit to the guys for being persistent, and she's arguing with me right now. But anyway, we look, we did what we had to do. We knew what the mission was in front of us. They got it done. I'm happy for the guys, and hopefully, what time does that Marshall game start? Because I want to turn that on and see what's going on
I
there.
believe it's at 7. Let me look it up real quick while I
Yeah, it's
have.
later tonight, so we're gonna see who we're playing and where we're playing. And Jerry, this is a guarantee. I already talked to my brother. If we get to host, we will be there live. We will have a pregame. I will not break my foot this time. We will definitely have a presence at the pregame for this championship game. So looking forward to that.
That's what I like to hear. Lane
Yes,
joins us
sir.
as well. Lane was at the Adopted Dog Brewery today for the watch party. Lane, how was the atmosphere there? And man, how you feeling right now? 10-win season.
It was good. It was good and cold, but it was a good turnout. They had quite a few people there. I was a little nervous to start off because I thought it was going to be one of those weird games where it always seems to come down to the end, but I'm glad we put that touchdown in late. But yeah, it was a good win all around.
Very good, very good. It was good to see that, there's always good when Cajun Nation shows up and goes to these watch parties. But anyway, guys, look, we're going to take your calls. I know right now we're going through a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're going to try our best to make sure we make this work. We're going to go take your calls right now. I see we have some speakers looking to talk. Terry, we'll start with you, man. Look, give us your thoughts on what you saw tonight or today. Terry, you there? Hey, talk to us. Wait. Since Nick doesn't have the soundboard, I'm going to give you a womp, 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 womp. Anyway, go on. Yeah, it was a little bit of a struggle. But at the same time, I mean, look, it wasn't great in the first half. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I was a little more frustrated at the fact that like we could have run the ball a little bit more. But I mean, you know, again, we knew coming in that it was going to be a war, considering the fact that you have a team that was playing for bowl eligibility. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Well, then Karen, Lauren got
You
in.
can talk loud, Mom. You can talk loud.
Yep.
They can't hear me.
I want to build things. I want to explore. Right. No doubt about it. Well, thanks, Terry. Hey, stay on while you can. Of course, you can comment later on. We're gonna try to get through some callers, but before we do, Nick, are you there? Nick.
I don't think he's there. I think he's trying to figure things
Yeah, I'm
out.
sorry, man. I'm trying to figure out the YouTube, the X thing. What's up, man?
Yeah, it sounds like they couldn't hear Terry. By the way, everybody, we apologize. We had our configuration had done a little bit differently this week. We apologize for some of the technical difficulties. We'll try to get it fixed as soon as possible.
I mean, look at me. I'm upside down. Like, what is going on today?
Yeah, we're trying to get this thing fixed real quick, everybody. We apologize for the technical
but
difficulties.
for real, give me Terry's Cliff Notes. So, like, what's going on? What did he say?
Basically, he said he's happy that we have a chance to host. You know, he's as always, he's he gives him a hard time. He said pass blocking wasn't the best, but at the same time, he's happy for Coach Des, happy for this team. 10-2 and a chance to host, and we need to market the hell out of this game coming up next week. So, let me see if I can get this.
I agree. I mean, I think now I hear it. Now I hear it, Jerry. That's perfect.
All right. You know what?
So,
That's what it was. It was we had it muted. We apologize.
So no, I agree. This is the opportunity for us to market the hell out of this game, and if we don't do that, then that's not on us. People like to blame us for misgivings on the athletic side, but hell, if you can't market us playing in the third or fourth championship game in 5 or 6 years, then there's something wrong with the administration, not you and me bitching on our space. So no, I agree, Terry. We got to take advantage of the opportunity. Hopefully we host. And look, I'm making that guarantee. Like, I will be here for the championship game. My brother was here, Karen, you can say it, my sister-in-law's here. He said he would be here. I will post up for that. We will have a live video post game for that game. Just got to make it happen. Hopefully Marshall loses, because they're a bunch of losers anyway, but let's make it happen, baby.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So look, let me try to fix. Let's see. Give me 1 second.
Tailgate spot number 42, by the way, everyone. Please show up.
Tailgate spot number 42. Good deal.
While you're working on that, Jerry, I just saw this. The Cajuns are the first team in program history to go 6-0 on the road, and they're the first team since 1970 to go undefeated on the road.
Wow. Very
That team
impressive.
went 5-0 in 1970.
Let's
Very
go,
nice.
baby. That's
Very
awesome.
nice. That's what I like to hear. So, anyway, guys, let's see if I can try to. All right, there we go. Good. Of course, that's my dad. T-Boy has his microphone on. All right, let's see.
No,
Raging-
we need to hear
Go
from
ahead.
T-Boy. Where is T-Boy? I mean,
I tell you what,
I'm
let's get him-
upside down. We can hear from T-Boy.
All right, let's get that working. So, let's see. Let's see if I can get him on here real quick. You know what? Let's go to RC. RC, you there? RC.
He was there.
I see how it is. Man's partying hard in Tennessee right now. Raging
Man
Cajun
hates us.
King. Raging Cajun King, you're up next. What you got, man?
Oh, God.
No? Going once? Going twice? All right. Kevin, Dore.
Can you hear me?
There you
Yes,
go.
sir. What's up,
Hey,
man?
somebody's paying attention.
We're going to make this work, baby. We're going to make this work.
You're going to make it work just like the Cajuns have been making it work all year. Man, look, today's game, it just kind of goes back to me being a broken record all year. You remember like how I kept saying we just keep finding different ways to win different games? Well, that's what we did again today. Being leading the division or leading the conference, you're getting everybody's best shot every week. There's a huge target on your back. And We seen it last week with Troy when they came out and punched us in the mouth a little bit, and we responded. We seen it with South Owl, and unfortunately, we weren't able to finish responding. We've seen it. We've seen it the last few weeks, and I think the same thing happened today. I think Monroe came out and they had a good game plan for us. They rushed the pass real well. They made Chandler uncomfortable. They didn't let him set his feet, and it kind of threw us off in the first half. But man, in the second half, really the offensive line and the defensive line took control of the game. I mean, we dominated the trenches offensively and defensively, and I think that was the difference. You give Chandler some time to string some completions together. He gets down there and throws that fade pass to Tavion. Man, that was beautiful.
Read that.
Kind of gets him going a little bit, and he just takes over from there. I think he had 11 completions in a row at one point?
I think so. It was around there, yeah.
Yeah, he was, he turned it up. He was balling, and like I said, credit to the O-line for starting to, win in the trenches. And obviously late in the game when you're able to salt it away with Zylan, man, glad to have him back. His burst is incredible, and we were just running them over at the end of the game. So it was good to see us finish. I was super excited to see us try the offense back out there on 4th and 1 at the end, because I'm like, oh God, you try to kick a field goal. I know we got the best kicker in the nation. Shout out Kenny, but you never know what could happen. And I just had a vision of Bill hitting that, that gap on the left side and taking it to the house. I knew they were going to stack the middle. That's exactly what they did. And Bill took advantage.
Didn't you feel like we would eventually, with our depth, pull it out at the end? I don't know, man. It just the way the character of this team. Can you hear me, man?
I don't think. Kevin, can you hear Nick?
No, I can't.
Oh, sorry. So Jerry,
I'm sorry.
I'll defer to you. I'll just say the character of this team.
I'll just keep going.
No, listen. But, Nick was giving his thoughts, and I'll relay it back to you.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Kevin.
Yeah,
no, you're good, man.
My thoughts were the character of this team. You felt like it would be close going into the towards the third to fourth quarter, but we would pull it out due to depth in our team. Just see if Kevin thinks the same. If he has the same vision.
So, Kevin, Nick was saying that, even though the game was close, it was our depth that kind of pulled us through towards the end of the game, especially in the third or fourth quarter. Being able to run the ball, win in the trenches, make some key stops. And I'll agree with Nick on that one. I felt like our depth was able to carry us in the fourth quarter, and that's kind of been the tale of this team for a lot of our wins this year. Is our depth and our experience has been able to make those 1 or 2 extra plays to put us over the top. Wouldn't you agree, Kevin?
Yeah, absolutely. Even with some of the injuries that we've been having, still to have the depth for guys to come in and make plays and finish games. I mean, that just says even more about the depth of this team and the experience, really. Yeah. Even the unexperienced guys. I mean, Cody Jackson. Cody Jackson, man. That guy, he's special. I hope we can keep him around. I believe he's a true freshman, but he kept us in the game in the first half. He was a big part of the reason why we weren't losing at halftime with those 2 interceptions. I mean, that was huge.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and the fact that he's a freshman, I mean, to do that as a freshman, that goes to show you what the guys were losing this year, like Ty Lewis and Tyree Skipper and a few veteran players. For a guy like that to come in as a freshman and step up, it really, really feels like it gives me optimism. It gives me optimism because of the fact that moving forward, you have the next man up mentality where next year and many years in advance, you're going to have some younger talent that's going to be able to kind of pick up from where these guys left off. And I feel like this team has been able to kind of has been built like that since the days of Billy Napier, where you lose all of these veteran guys and you got the guys right next to them waiting their turn. And it's very much a work while you wait business model that we play under. And so when you have younger guys step up like that, like Cody Jackson did today, that gives me a lot of hope for the future. Definitely, no doubt about it. But anyway, thanks for your thoughts, Kevin. Just you can stay in their space. I'm gonna go to some other speakers. Who dat Cajun, Mr. David? Are you there?
I am.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, especially after that win. Uh, really, before I say anything else, it's great to win a rivalry game. And I know there are fans that would like to say that this is not a rivalry, but I think it really is. And we always get the best from ULM when we play them. Uh, a couple of games I would point out is uh, the year of our first bowl game. I believe my brother and dad were at a game at home against ULM, and I think we were down 3 scores in the last few minutes of the game. And they left the game while I was watching it on TV, and the Cajuns came back and beat ULM. We always talk highly, rightfully so, of the Napier era, and 2 games in the Billy Napier era, it came down to ULM missing a field goal at the end of the game to beat them. So I think it's a rivalry, and it's a good one. It was nice to win this one going away. But I also want to tip my hat to ULM. I really like what they're doing over there. Just watching it on TV, the actual experience of it seemed to be good, and the uh, the experience seemed to be good. And that running back they have, if they can keep him, boy, he is a hell of a running back. And I was impressed with what I saw from him. But all that said, Uh, great game. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the win, and looking forward to a home game for the Sun Belt Championship.
David, I wanna comment and piggyback on what you just said about ULM. You know, Brian Vincent, this was his first season as head coach, and even though they finished 5-7, that team showed a lot of promise. And I think the attitude. When we had Sean Fox on from 97.7 Sports Radio up in North Louisiana, we had him on the other night, and one of the things that I mentioned to him, and of course he mentioned it as well, was just there's a different mindset and a different mentality now that Brian Vince has taken over, and it's very similar to what Mark Hudspeth, what his mindset was when he came to UL, in that we're going to change the way we think around here. We're going to change the way we do things around here. We're going to have a different mindset, a different mentality on everything that we do in our approach to this football program. And I think he's kind of created some hope with this football team, and he's embraced the community. He's embraced the ULM campus. He's embraced the student body. He's embraced the city of Monroe. And that they've kind of lacked that for a long time. And I've noticed there's been a different pep in their step this season. And I'm look, don't get me wrong. I always enjoy beating ULM, but at the same time, a better ULM makes for a better Sun Belt conference. And so when you have teams like ULM that kind of come out of nowhere and they're able to get nice wins against JMU, they're able to go on the road to Troy and win. They're able to play some good competition, in a very tough manner. Even down in Marshall, they lost by I think 5 points. They had the game won. They were winning at South Alabama at halftime and found a way to lose. But at the same time, even today, they were competitive with us. I feel like that's going to be great for the conference moving forward, when ULM wins, because I think Brian Vincent will win over there. I really believe that. And so I have to tip my hat off. Look, as much as we don't like ULM, I have to tip my hat off to Coach Bryant Vincent in the season he had this year, because I do think they're on the right track for success. And look, again, a successful ULM is success for the conference. So, don't get me wrong. I like to beat them, but at the same time, I like to see them succeed because it helps the conference as a whole. So, kudos to Coach Brian Vincent, what he was been able to accomplish. All right, let's see. We got some more speakers here. Nick, all right, let's see if we can get this thing to work.
I'm here, bro.
All right, there we go. Everybody, give me a thumbs up if you can hear Nick.
Yeah, much better now because I'm on the space. So
Beautiful.
I think they can hear me. Yeah, we're good.
All right, so Brian Jeffrey asks, do we now host the Sun Belt Conference Championship game? Okay, that's the $1 million question. I'm just going to kind of give the rundown on what's going on, right? Okay, so here's what's going on. Whoa, that was weird. Did you hear that? Anyway.
Yeah,
That was Atari. I don't know what that was.
I was about to play Pac-Man up in here. Asteroids. So here's what's going down. So as of right now, it's not etched in stone that we're going to host. Does it help that we won? That gives us a chance? Absolutely. The way what will solidify us hosting would be JMU beating Marshall tonight. So game time is at 7:00 tonight. If you have nothing else to do, you're hanging up Christmas decorations or having a beer and barbecuing on the patio and around a campfire. You are Cajun Nation. We are big James Madison Dukes fans tonight. Okay. Yes, it doesn't sound good for me to say it, but we are pulling for the Dukes if we want to host this championship game. Now, if somehow Marshall wins, then the Sun Belt Conference will base 4 rankings. They will base 4 rankings and they will average those 4 rankings. There are 4 computer rankings, and the average, or the team with the higher average, will host. As of right now, I believe going into today, we were about 5 or 6 spots, or maybe even 6 or 7 spots higher on average against Marshall. And I know this win will help us. Unless Marshall pulls off this win against JMU, and unless they jump us, we're going to host. So I would say the likelihood of us hosting right now are pretty high. But again, just to make sure and to be safe, because you never know how these computer rankings are, right? We've seen surprises with the old BCS. Unless Marshall wins, it looks like we're going to host. Now, Marshall, JMU will have to beat Marshall for us to 100% host. But again, if it comes out down to Marshall winning against JMU, those 4 computer rankings will average that out. And most likely, I don't want to come out with any conclusions now, but most likely we'll still be ranked higher and we will host. So as of right now, if you gave me an opportunity to say if both teams win, I'd give us about 90-95% chance.
Yeah, I would say
think that'd
so.
Be fair. Yeah, so
it's just a matter of, I don't know if it's gonna be solidified tonight if they win,
right,
or if it'll be tomorrow or Monday.
We'll probably find out tomorrow. And just be on the lookout, guys. Be on the lookout tomorrow, because tickets will go on sale and your parking pass and your tailgate spots. I'm going to tell you, if we host, next week's going to be lit, guys. It's going to be lit. 2021 was fun. It's going to be lit.
I'm telling you, bro, I'm here in Lafayette. I'm going to head home. I'm going to get ready and come back, because this doesn't happen often. Like, I've said it before and I'll say it again. These are special times.
No doubt.
It is not often you get to do this type of thing. So if we get to host a conference championship, we need to show out. We need to get our friends here, our family here. We need to have a good time. My brother's bringing his RV out. I'm going to be out there. We're going to set up out there. We're going to have a good time. I may be blackout drunk by the second quarter, but that's okay. I'm slurring, man, because it's been a long day. My mother, by the way, my 82-year-old mother and I took shots at 11 o'clock this morning. So there is no excuse for folks to be out there early for a championship game. But no,
funny.
Seriously, but seriously, before you go, now is the time. Look, I've talked the talk. I've criticized the attendance, and I'll be there. That is my guarantee. We will be there. If I'm there, anybody can be there. Let's make it happen, baby.
Very good, very good. And again, we'll find out really, really soon. If Marshall wins, it'll be within the next 24 hours. Again, I really like our chances if Marshall wins. But again, if they lose, we're going to be popping some champagne and getting ready to host a championship game. So again, to all of Cajun Nation, we're big JMU Duke fans tonight. Cajun Zookeeper, Mr. CJ, you've been waiting long enough. Talk to us, man. How you feeling right now?
I am deep in Cajun derangement syndrome, baby. Let's go. All right.
Not quite. Hey, you know what? You can put that to rest for just a little while, right? Put that to rest for just a little while, but
right.
That's all good, man. All good.
Let's be constructive here. First, I want to say that I feel as though there was never in doubt. There's a famous saying that good teams find ways to win games, and we found a way to win a game today. Chandler didn't have his best game, right? But we made the plays. We made more plays when it mattered than they did. I feel it's a simple science, really. You score, you make more plays you win. It seems that simple. Although I will say we need to work on the special teams. I don't know how that dude got in there with that very, very crappy camera angle. I felt like, that camera angle is just god awful, but I digress. Second half, it's not that we didn't do a good job of defending against their running back. It's just that, we shut their passing game down so much so that they ran all over us. But we've always had a good run D. And also, I will want to point this out real quick. That was not an intentional grounding. That was a sack, and I'll credit that for the rest of my life. That second down play or second quarter play, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That was not intentional grounding, but
And
again,
I think he does get credit for a sack there. So either way,
Yeah, I
we're
want to say
good.
they called it a sack, didn't they?
I think in the end, I think they got it right in the end.
Okay. But all in all, it was a gritty win. I think, when it comes to these types of rivalry games, we always play Monroe weird in Monroe. And that's a good way of saying that, we were going to be put to the test today. Because I don't think ULM fighting for their bowl eligibility would be just a pushover. But I want to give credit to the defense. Let's see. They only gave up 10 points in the entire second half. I know that's something Desiree hopefully said at halftime, put a fire under them. But 10 points in the second half against that run defense or that run offense is impressive to me, and that's my opinion. Now, over to Marshall. If they lose tonight, wouldn't Georgia Southern jump them?
Well, no, only if Georgia Southern wins. So Georgia Southern plays against App State, which is an arch rival. If they find a way to win and Marshall loses, we're going to be hosting Georgia Southern next week. So yes.
Right.
That's correct.
Then, I think that covers the gist of it. I'm just glad that we got that win. It was a bit, it was very tense in the first quarter, I'll say. But something that Desiree said, and I want to reiterate something we said earlier this season, is that Desiree makes adjustments, and we're finding that out. I don't know. They made some adjustments in the second half. Going off the top of my head, they shut down the passing game. Cody Jackson, shout out to him with his 2 picks. Also want to give credit to Keon Martin. He was. I think they took him out the rest of the game after that shoulder injury. I hope they did.
That was a stinger. He had a little bit of a stinger, it looks like, and they took him out. Hopefully, it's nothing too severe. Stingers are never fun, but the good news about stingers is you can recover from it pretty quickly. So let's hope it's nothing too severe where he can come back, because we're going to need him next week in the championship game for sure. Yeah.
And he's tough as nails.
Absolutely.
That's something. Even if we were. Okay, I just got breaking news about something, but anyway, the way that we fought, I like the way we fought. We fought like Michigan at the end of the Ohio State game, but the way we've put up a fight was very impressive, and I think that next week, whoever we play, is going to be not only a good game, but probably the most fight you will see out of the Cajuns this season. And that's saying a lot considering the amount of fight we put up this year so far.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And hopefully we can bring that more fight next week. Good enough for us to hold up another Sun Belt Conference Championship trophy. And CJ, thank you so much. Stay put, my man. Stay put. Let's see. We're going to go to Crippa. Mr. Lano, you there?
Yes, I am. You hear me well?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. What's up, Crip?
Hey, not too much. I'm actually in Houston. and I'm sitting here waiting for my wife to get out the store, so I decided to give a call. We were at the Kirby Ice House up by 10. I'm sure Nick is a little bit
I
familiar
am
with that.
well
Yeah,
familiar with that,
really
brother.
nice. Yeah, really nice area. It was fun because I mean, obviously, I'm the only UL guy there, but there was a lot of Big Blue Michigan guys there, and it was funny because when I got there, I requested to put the UL game next to the big screen TV for the Michigan Ohio State game. So you had Big Blue rooting for UL only because of me. They saw what I was doing, so they were just kind of rooting for me for my sake. So that was pretty neat.
Nice.
But Jerry, thanks for going over the scenario with the as far as who's going to host next week. That was pretty clear cut with the 4 computer rankings. We'll know tomorrow if Marshall were to win today.
Right.
Just really quick, guys, I'm not going to be long. Just really quick. I mean, what the hell was that Mickey Mouse, uniform design that Monroe was wearing today? I didn't quite understand it. It was kind of hard to watch.
I believe it was based off the P-40 Warhawk, like the airplane.
That's fine. Whatever. But anyways, my question for you guys is, what's the situation with Ben as far as his health? I don't think he's going to be anywhere available next week, but as far as the bowl game, number 2 is, what's the time slot for the Sun Belt Championship game? I'm trying to have an idea because I will be there next week. I'm going to bring my kids with me. My wife's got to stay in town in New Orleans, but I'm going to be able to drive up there with the kids, and we're going to have a good time, I'm sure. So what's the time slot we're slated for?
Sure.
And also just a little bit about Chandler. He looks a little too happy feet when he's in the pocket. I think the blueprint on him is to try to keep him in the pocket. I'd like to see him just try to improve upon that. To me, he's at his best when he's flushed out. I don't know if he just lacks the ability to kind of see over the line and see what's going on downfield. He's a little too indecisive. Also, the things that I want to see him just get rid of the ball quicker. When you see him roll out and you've got somebody in the flat just right there, it's like he's just still holding on to the ball way too long. Just let it go. Give it to him. And I'm kind of like Terry in a way, to where I feel like there are situations we need to run the ball more. Given the situation we are with our backup quarterback, you can win with them. There's nothing wrong with Chandler kind of leading the helm, but I like to see us rely a little bit more on our running backs and our offensive line in certain situations. But yeah, basically, I just want those questions answered. What's the time slot for next Saturday? And Ben's overall health, and we'll just go from there. Thanks, guys.
So thanks, Crip. Appreciate you, man. So first question, I'll answer the question about the Sun Belt game. Kickoff will be at 6:30 Central Standard Time on Saturday. So I believe
like that
was already slated, and so even if, like, say for instance, by some hypothetical, we had to go to the East Coast, it would be 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and then 6:30 Central Standard Time. So no matter what, we'll have a 6:30 kickoff, which is, look, Saturday night prime time. If we host at Cajun Field for a championship game, I'll take it all day. So all day to tailgate, all day to party, have a good time, and then right when the sun goes down, go into Cajun Field
and all day to come say hi to your boys at Rage and Review.
That's right. We'll be
there.
Out
you go, baby.
That's right. We will be out there, and we will be saying hello to all of our friends from Cajun Nation. Don't be shy. Come say hi. That actually rhymed. Anyway, so yeah, that the kickoff will be at 6:30 next week. That's pretty much the standard championship time for next week's game. And then also, to answer your question about Ben, I know after the South Alabama game, the Monday press conference following South Alabama, Dez said that Ben would be out 4 to 6 weeks. So he's pretty much out for this week coming up. Bowl game.
I think he could be back for the bowl game.
Maybe.
Depending upon when it is and all that.
I mean, if it's 4 weeks, yeah. If it's 6 weeks, probably not. I mean, if I were to take a guess, I'd probably say that Chandler's pretty much the quarterback from here on out. And of course, again, that depends on the date of our bowl game. I mean, because they have bowl game slots all the way from December 16th or 17th all the way to close to New Year's. So that can actually play a role in it. Maybe after Christmas or something like that, Ben might have a shot to play. But as of right now, it looks like Chandler's going to be the guy from here on out. But really sad situation, but...
Last thing. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Last thing. And I want to get y'all's take on this. It's something that's been kind of bothering me the last several weeks. So we have a kicker who's up for the Lou Groza Award. I mean, a legitimate chance. You hear a lot about these, you got guys on the watch list for this and that, but mostly it's just kind of just for just recognition, to say, hey, you got a good year before, and just want to put you up there. But this is actually legit, where Almendarez is up with two other finalists. He could win it. My big beef about this, and I mean, it's funny, because what do you do in a situation like this? You look at the end of the game today. You if you can kick a field goal, you basically ice the game. But at the same time, you're also giving a little bit more, I guess, strength in numbers for your kicker, who's up for the Lou Groza Award. Do y'all ever look at it like that, in a way like I do? I mean, is that kind of selfish on my take?
It's interesting you mentioned that, Crippa, because I was kind of thinking the same thing, but at the same time,
You would think that Mike owes it to Almendarez to do that, in a way.
Yes.
But here's my question, though, because it's an interesting topic. It really is. Does Mike lack the confidence in our snapper to make sure we get the ball out properly to Dalen?
That's a very good possibility.
And if that's the case, I understand that. I respect that. Does he have more confidence in getting the first down, running the football with our offense, where he lacks the confidence in the actual snap, in the actual, I guess,
Crippa, why you have one job?
You've got one job. I'm telling you, listen, I did it in high school. When you do it wrong one time, it's in your head. I'm telling you, it's a mental thing.
It's a yips, right?
You remember Chuck Knobloch?
I do.
You got one job. Throw it from second base to the first baseman, and he couldn't do it. It could be the yips. I don't know. I don't know.
Kenny has already made his case. To me, in my eyes, and this.
Hey, by the way, I'm gonna listen to you guys, and I'm gonna go. But I'm gonna listen to you, Nick. Okay.
I love you, brother. So Kenny is the best kicker in college football, in my opinion, right now, bar none. Doesn't matter who he's against. So I am biased because he's our guy. But I'm with you. Like, you got one job to snap the ball to the guy to hold the ball to kick. So snap the freaking ball to hold the ball to kick. I don't know why that is so difficult, but I get it. If it gets in your head, we saw it against App State a couple years ago, where we couldn't snap the ball. The long snapper had a thing. He figured it out. But it's just so frustrating from a fan standpoint that, like, I don't want it to hurt Kenny because of the ability to have a long snapper snap the ball to the guy to hold it. I don't know, Jerry. It may just be me, but it shouldn't penalize Kenny, but it could, right?
No, I think in this situation, though, you got to look at the full game scenario, right? ULM had just called their last timeout. We actually went for it on 4th and short a few times. Our run game had finally started to click in the third quarter. I guess Dez's mindset was go for it on 4th down, find a way to make it, and if somehow we don't make it, ULM has no timeouts left with like less than a minute to go to march down the field. And to your point, and to Crippa's point, maybe because we had a kick blocked, maybe we don't get the snap down, and maybe they return it for a touchdown. So there's a bunch of scenarios that probably mixes in with all of that. I think there was really no wrong answer whether we went for the field goal or went for it. Because think of it like this. Let's say was it Bill that ran it in? Yeah, it was Bill that ran it in. And or was it Zylan?
It was Bill.
It was Bill. Okay. So let's say Bill, I didn't, at one point, I didn't think he was going to take it into the end zone. I thought he was going to fall down and we were just going to take a knee to end the game. But
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to slow down.
Let's just say he doesn't and goes out of bounds or falls down. From there, we take a knee. It's ball game. So I guess I get it from both angles. I guess Dez probably felt confident enough in the way our offensive line had played towards the end of the game, and we were kind of gashing their front seven, that our run game would do enough to get by and ice the game anyway. So, I don't know. I'm it's here nor there. I don't know. I was just glad to be able to finish. I was more happy to finish, regardless of whether or not we would have kicked the field goal or gone forward on 4th and short.
I'm not gonna hate that, Jerry. I mean, we got it done. That was the goal, was to win the game. So I'm not gonna hate on it, but yeah. And when you're looking at it from that perspective, it sucks because I want Kenny to get the nod.
Of course. But again, you got to look at it from a game situation. Again, They have no timeouts left. It's 4th and inches. We're running the ball well. You've got 2 running backs. Both Zylan and Bill had great second halves. They were finally starting to click. So it's just one of those things where you just kind of say, you know what, let's see if we can make it. If it's 4th and inches, to me, it was one of those things where, like, if you can't make it on 4th and inches against that team, especially considering the fact that we were clicking in the second half, that's on us. So,
By the way,
I mean, I'm glad we
shout
were
out.
able to make it work.
By the way, shout out to Zylan for making it back, because with Dre out, like, how huge was
Man, did
that?
we
We
need
talked
him.
about that. Yeah, we talked about last week on losing Zylan, and man, that was huge this week with Dre out. I mean, I don't think we could have got it done just with one guy. So
Agreed.
that was awesome to see.
Agreed. All right, Josh, you there?
I am, but I was not prepared. Nick had a good call, so I had to figure out how to follow that up well.
Talk to us. Talk to us, Cole.
Yeah, so first of all, I'll piggyback off the Zylan comment. I was shocked to get him back in the game, because if you remember, a couple years ago when he had fumbleitis, he would fumble early in games, and they'd pull him for the rest of the game. So I actually made a comment to a person sitting next to me. I said, might not see old Perry again for the rest of the game, but shout out to him, man. He made some big-time plays. He had some very tough runs down the stretch. In the first half, really, we talked about the lack of running game. I thought that Zylan made some individual carries that really changed how they wanted to defend us in the interior, but overall in the interior, you got to give ULM some credit. That defensive line really controlled our game in the AB gap. I thought the only time we were finding any amount of success was off tackle, and I was happy to see that in the second half we utilized that and we stretched the run game. I think I told you guys that in the text, but our ability to use Bill properly, punch back with Zylan, and then as soon as Chandler started hitting those big shots over the top, it was like that defense completely changed. Did we see the same thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think once we started really to run the ball, I thought we gained confidence, especially from Dez's play calling.
I thought the play calling was a little bit better in the second half, but and you can never really know if they had a certain plan to kind of bait them. The bait and switch. We're going to try to run in the interior, and then maybe the running game changes to try to get off tackle, whatever. We'll never know that. We'll never know the game plan. But to me, it was clear that they made a concerted effort, especially in the second half, to run off tackle. And I thought we were way more effective that way. Here's a small gripe, though. Where's the tight end in the game plan? And I know y'all going to laugh at me for saying that because I'm a tight end guy, but did we target Caden Jensen today? Did he have a catch? I don't think so.
You have to look that up, Josh. Let me look that up.
He had one catch.
I think he had a catch too late in the
Only
game.
one catch, and I was pissed.
One catch for that type of individual, that type of athlete, is an absurd stat. And I'm gonna text Mike that here in a second. I'm gonna say, look, man, can we please get Caden more involved in the offense? I'm kidding, but I thought that the ability to make the offense work outside the hash kind of softened up the ULM defense. And I will go back to what I said in the messages and early in the call. Everything that they did between the numbers was very good. It was better than us. They were doing the intangibles. They were running the football. They were stopping the run. They essentially had us figured out for 2 quarters. I was impressed with that. You don't get that from ULM. You don't get that kind of effort. Hardy, obviously, is a one-man wrecking crew. That guy, can't believe he's 19 years old. Maybe open the checkbook to get him in Lafayette. I don't know, but I was super impressed with him. I was impressed with their defense as a whole. I thought their plan was good.
Look, this team held JMU, I believe, to like 19 points earlier in the year, and they held Troy to 9 points. I mean, some of their wins, they held their opponents to very little. And also, look, Ahmad Hardy, he's one of those type of guys you see him play and you're like, how in the world did ULM pull that off and get him?
Yeah.
I think I want to say that Brian Vincent had made a comment in the press conference going into this game where he basically said, like, unfortunately with the circumstances of college football today, he would be shocked if or the team would be shocked, or the staff would be shocked if he weren't on an SEC roster in the next few years. Somebody's going to find him. I mean, his style of running, his gameplay, he looks like he could be a back for an SEC team. I mean, he's that good. And I mean, really, he was their entire offense today. I thought ULM had some decent receivers. I mean, they had a few drops, but as a whole, he was the bell cow of that offense. I mean, all the hype about him, all the talk about him, he definitely proved it today on the field. I mean, he's one hell of a running back.
Yeah, he's legit. I think he made that offense go. The thing, this is another thing that we didn't really talk about between us, not publicly, but how much credit do you have to give the secondary? With the injuries, with the young guys playing, look at Cody Jackson, true freshman, 2 big picks, some big-time tackles on the edge. To me, he was the star of the game for a large portion of it. He's a young guy. You know, we've got some guys that don't have the experience that you would typically need late in the season to make plays like that against a good team. I was impressed by the way the secondary stepped up without Tyree. And, you know, Keon got nicked up a little bit, got hit a few times. Hate to see him be injured because he's so good, man. He's really, really improved to be one of those shutdown type corners in the Sun Belt Conference. But missing Tyree, I just think that the depth really showed up, and the ability to find recruits that you can coach up in this environment in college football. You got to see him on full display today. I was totally impressed with the secondary. But overall, team win. Chandler, I thought, held the football too many times today, but overall, a B-plus performance. You know, this is a ode to Mike Desermo and his entire staff, really. We played a B-minus game. ULM played an A-plus game for them. I think there were 2 actually, maybe we ended up winning the turnover battle. But anyway, they played an A-plus game. We played a B-minus game, and we totally dominated the second half and won the game going away. That is a testament to the strength of the overall football team. 10 wins, what is this, the 3rd time in history? If you think that happens under Desermo and you can't appreciate that, I've been kind of busting some ass privately on text messages and things like that. We rode for Des for a long time. We know that it took a minute to ramp up. We know that it didn't look good for a while. And we were even critical at times. I'm happy for Des. I'm happy for Salgado. Happy for Tim. You know, just happy for guys that stayed in, developed a team from the high school ranks, and, you know, a few transfers. We've got some JUCO guys coming here, make a difference. Guys like Chandler, guys that bought in. You got to be happy for this roster. And I'm happy for this coaching staff and these kids.
I think
winning 10 games is a big deal in Lafayette, Louisiana.
I was going to say, Josh, I'm more happy at the perseverance that this team has gone through in the last 2 years. You know, you come off a huge year in 2021. You finish in the top 15, top 16. You win the conference championship. You lose your head football coach to Florida. And then all of a sudden the following year, you have to rebuild from scratch. And, you know, you lose a bunch of close games, including one to ULM. You finish the season 6-7. And then you follow it up with another 6-7 season with a bunch of disappointing losses and some injuries. And so, you know, there were a lot of people that had their doubts, and this to a lot of fans, including me, this was kind of one of those years where this coaching staff had to go out and prove it. And they did. And they did week in and week out. I mean, even our 2 losses, we were in the game. And all of these close losses that we had over the last 2 years, again, I kept alluding to a 2-9 record in 11 games in the last 2 years, 7 points or less. And to be able to flip that and find ways to win at the end instead of having close losses and disappointing losses, it really is an ode to this coaching staff and this team, and the fact that A, they didn't quit, and B, they kept focus. They kept focused, they kept working, they kept plugging, and they kept grinding. And here we are now. This is our 3rd 10. We had, up until 2019, we had never had a double-digit win season in school history. That's over 100 years of football, might I add. In the last 6 seasons, we've had 3 of them. And out of the last 7 years, we're playing in our 5th conference championship. And we're on the verge of being ranked again, possibly, depending on how the rankings fall tomorrow. So I mean, this is, guys, I'm not going to lie. I mean, maybe this is too soon for me to say if we can create this sort of run, but this is kind of like the golden age of Raging Cajun football. I mean, we have not had this type of success in such a short amount of time in a span of over 120 something years of existing as a football program. So
One game at a time, Jerry. I mean, let's figure it out. One game at a time, maybe so. But we said this 3, 4 years ago, and it might have been. But look, a lot of people questioned Dez, me included. Was this the right hire? This is his opportunity to prove us wrong. I think he already has. So let the man do his thing, and let's see what happens. And this season is a building block for future seasons. We see that with Boise State. So let's give the guy a chance. Let's see what happens. Let's do the best we can this season. And that is definitely a building block going into next season. Because let me tell you, going into next season, right now over Tulane, we've got the advantage. We've got a better record, you know? So if we win the ship and we win a bowl game, and going into next season, we have the record that we have, it's a good thing for us, and I'll just leave it at that, bud.
no, I agree.
It's a good point. But I think that your point about the golden age is there. I mean, you go back to HUD from, say 2008 to now. If this is not the golden age, I don't know what is. But I'm reminded of Suge Knight in these times. Is if you don't want the NIL screwing up your program, and if you don't want the coach dancing in your videos, you don't want the AD leaving your school, come to Death Row. Come to UL. Come to play for Mike Desermo, right? We're going to win the conference, and we're going to win 10 games. Like, that should be the selling point. We have a route to the playoff. We have a route to the playoff, guys. We need to sell it better than we have been. But now that fans can see it, and now that fans are involved, now they can see it very clearly, and they can experience it. And I hope, and I think that we will host another championship game, and that's palpable. You can remember that. You can. It's a memory that our fans can have in their memory bank, and I expect to have another big crowd like we did against App State. But last thing I'll say, because I know that people want to get in, all right? There's so many things that you could take away from this season, all right? The one word that I take away from this season is development. It's just development. Like, if we're going to continue to be that type of program, if we're going to continue to be in the national spotlight, development is how we're going to do it. And this staff has done what everybody wondered if they could. Develop a team, a player, a roster, a reputation, right? They've done it. So you got to give them their flowers, man. And I'm going to be on the apology tour next week. When we host a Sun Belt championship and we win it, I'm going to be on the apology tour for Dez. I'm going to be collecting those apologies. Because when everybody was upset about how things were going and the game plan, and look, some of us are also guilty about questioning game plans and why are we calling that play and all that stuff. But I think that overall, our attitude was always, Dez is our guy. If we can get him over the hump, there's got to be, it's going to be better days on the other side. I think we're seeing those better days. I want to see everybody buy into the Dez era. I think he's given you all the reasons to do it. And I think that hosting a conference championship game in Lafayette, Louisiana, the last hoorah for Cajun Field, the very last memory you'll have at that place that we've all watched games for 50, 60 years. Let's make it a championship, and then let's ride that wave into the new place. And I'll open it up for everybody else. Thanks for having me.
Thanks as always, Josh. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I mean, and it's true. I mean, look, there were a lot of doubts. We all had our doubts in the last couple years, and somehow this coaching staff, again, they kept their heads down and they kept focused and they got the job done when it mattered. So, look, this is a lot. I'm not gonna lie, this is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. And look, our standard, we take it one game at a time, and like you said, Nick. But it's good to see that. I remember 10, 15 years ago, we were so happy just to make a bowl game. Bowl games. Oh my gosh, we're in a bowl game now. Bowl games are a dime a dozen. And now it's not just about making bowl games, it's competing for conference championships, and the standard of making the conference championship game, and the standard of being one of the elites of the G5 and trying to sneak into a playoff spot to play for a national title. I mean, hell, 20 years ago, we were just happy to win 4 games. Now we're on the cusp of a top 25 ranking and another conference championship. So, No, it's exciting right now. I'm enjoying it. I know everybody else is enjoying it, and look, we got a lot of we still got a little bit of football to play, but right now I will say let's enjoy this. Let's enjoy the moment and take it all in for this success. By the way, as I'm watching this, let's see, Cajuns have wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, update. The Louisiana Raging Cajuns basketball team up 10 points at half, and they drop their game to Nichols today by the score of 76-75. A missed shot at the buzzer. Nichols comes in to win. 76-75. Louisiana's record in men's basketball now 1-7 on the year, and this is the probably one of the lowest starts, I think, since the 2010-2011 season. They'll come back next Saturday to take on Louisiana Tech in the Cajun Dome.
Nick, why do you have to depress us, bro? Like, we were in such a good mood.
Sorry,
you know what I'm about?
Like,
You know
you
whose
know
fault
what?
this
Play that
is?
music for you. Play that
Anyway.
womp, womp, womp. That goes to you.
It's actually Jerry. I was trying to give updates. But anyway, we got a special guest in the house, Mr. Ty Lewis. Ty, if you want to speak, the floor is yours, sir.
Just want to say hi.
Ty, you there?
You hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Just want to say hi.
Well, hey, man, we're proud of you. Way to grind today. Way to battle. And congratulations on that Western Division title, man. We're riding on cloud 9 for the next week. We got some bragging rights to our friends. And, hey, go out there, keep your head down, and grind and win yourself another Sun Belt Conference Championship trophy, my man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Of course, it's always good when
Appreciate that. Thank you.
No, absolutely, buddy. Good luck to you and congratulations again. That's Mr. Ty Lewis, anchor of the Louisiana Raging Cajun secondary in the
Hell
house.
yeah, Ty, we got your back, baby. Let's win a shit. Do it, man.
Dude,
All right,
get yourself another trophy, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right. And we got Mr. Amir McDaniel in the house too. What's up, Amir? You there? The floor is yours.
Yeah, what's going on? Y'all can hear me?
Loud and clear. How you doing?
You know
sir?
what I hear, Amir? What I hear is another championship coming down our way, baby. Let's go.
We just appreciate y'all for staying with us, man. We need y'all to come out next week, support us.
You heard him. You heard
Real
him, Cajun
life.
Nation. So Amir, I gotta ask, that bus ride is gonna be a lot smoother and nicer now with a W.
Yes,
isn't it?
sir. Yes, sir. Real smooth.
Love it. Well, hey, buddy, congratulations. Y'all enjoy that bus ride back, man. Party hard and have a good time, but let's stay focused for that championship next Saturday.
Yes, sir. Just want to tell y'all we appreciate y'all.
We ain't going anywhere, my man. We ain't going anywhere.
I ain't going anywhere. In fact, I'm hosting a pregame with some Buddha. I'm looking at my sister-in-law right now. She thinks I'm crazy. But my sister-in-law's big old bus gonna be out there. She might not be out there, but I'm gonna be out there with my brother, and we gonna have a good time. So, no, it'll be a lot of fun. And Tyrone, Amir, you guys freaking are awesome. We appreciate you. Thank you for being Cajuns. And shit, let's go, man. I love it.
Yeah, so Nick, at this point, man, you might as well just stay in Lafayette for the next week.
No
All the hype-
kidding.
all
You
the
know,
hype
if
is
I
here.
didn't have like a job, I probably would, but I do have to get back home. So I'll work for a couple days, get back here. I'll probably drive here late Friday night. But look, dude, I got Elon on my side. I got the satellite internet. I'm ready to go, baby. We're
There you
gonna
go.
do this.
All right, so let's see. T-Boy, a.k.a. Dad. Dad, you want to talk? No, maybe not.
Can you hear me, Jerry?
Hey,
Oh,
what's up,
we
Pops?
got T-Boy, baby.
We
Let's
got
go.
T-Boy in the house, a.k.a. Jerry's dad. What's up, Pops?
We just pulled into Jackson, Mississippi on the way to Biloxi. Listen up, let me tell y'all something. I've been going to Monroe for, oh God, older than you guys are. And I went to this game, nostalgia, when they were the Indians, and they were playing the old Indian drum beat song. And it reminds me of the old days, okay? But, I was with Dr. Maggart today, and let me tell you about Dez. everybody wanted to throw Dez under the bus. And today, narcissism in athletics is very prevalent, especially with your larger programs. Fans want to win. And what he inherited with this NIL thing coming in with all those kids that he lost, many of them playing at bigger programs, you got to give the guy credit because most teams will pluck the better players and paid off to go elsewhere. Now you got a pretty level playing field across the board, and coaching won 10 games, guys. The coaches won the game. When I text Napier about a new coach when he went to Florida, he sent me back one thing. They need to hire Dez. Then I asked him another question. He sent me the same text. They need to hire Dez. Rob Sale, who's offensive coordinator for him over there, or co-offensive coordinator in Florida, I said, Rob, are you going to apply for the job? This is what he sent me back. One phrase, they need to hire Dez. He said, Dez took good notes and learned. He's ready for the job. Duh, guys, okay? 10 wins in an even field across the board. Going to a conference championship his third year. You got to give the guy credit, don't we? Don't we have to give the man credit?
Hey, let me ask you something, T-Boy. Let me ask
Go
you
ahead.
something, T-Boy.
Go ahead.
Who was the podcast that stood for Dez in year 1, 2, and 3?
Well,
That's your
guys
boys here.
Yeah, right, exactly. But
Yeah.
you got to give a coach time.
You got to give time, T-Boy.
Yeah,
I
it
agree.
does. You do. And with this NIL business, which I'm totally against, by the way, I give money to Dez's quarterback club, and I'm not an NIL guy, but the coaches deserve the credit. They inherited this mess, and I'm not throwing any coach under the bus. Okay, now look, the basketball coach lost today.
Oh, we
Nichols
know.
beat him, but
We know.
and look. Bob Marlin and his wife are wonderful people, in my opinion. All right. It's the nature of the beast of the profession that they embrace. Okay. College football coaches turn over. I don't fall in love with none of them. Okay. Because in the end, when you give them enough time to do what they're supposed to do and they can't do it, it isn't that I don't like them. It's just time for a change for the fan base. Then we produce revenues. So I'm not surprised that he lost. He's in a tough position in basketball, much worse than football and baseball with this NIL thing. He is. I'm not making excuses for him because he took the job. Now, that's all I'm going to say. I got off of basketball 4 years ago. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, okay? With Dez there, what he did today, I'm very impressed with the way the coaches handle their business this year. Look, we didn't play a good football game today, but we were a better team. That's why we won. And the second half, the coaches got it done. I think they were a little bit flat, knowing they had won the West. But they came out and they beat a team that was really engaged and wanted to win. I feel sorry for ULM. They had the problems. They just have a bad situation there. But look, kudos to the Cajuns. You guys do a good job. I haven't spoken up in a while, but it's time to speak up for the wins and give Dez and his coaching staff. And I think a lot of letters of apology should come from a lot of these fans that would throw him under the bus. I'm not one of them. So go Dez, go Cajuns, go Cajun Review.
Hey, I appreciate you, T-Boy, and I know you can't say this, Jerry, because, kind of close to you, but I want to say, T-Boy, appreciate it. I think you're right. And look, we hold all coaches accountable in the same way, and I feel like every program should be equally accountable. And when people do good things, like Dez has done, they should get the praise. And Dez is getting the praise because he deserves it. But I want to say, when people were questioning whether or not he was the guy, we all said he was the guy. But you got to give him time, man, because we could have been wrong. But you got to give a guy time, not 15 years time like other sports. But you got to give the man time, and he got the time, and he proved us those haters wrong. So I agree
Look,
with you.
as long as you gentlemen keep telling the truth, the only time truth harms someone is when it's someone who doesn't embrace the truth like you guys do. Sometimes it's better to sequester the truth and tell it a little bit later. My problem is I can't keep my big mouth shut. I tell the truth all the time. And I get in a whole lot of trouble. But you know what?
Amen.
We talked
Amen.
about first right amendments, and you don't have to use your First Amendment rights to besmirch anybody or demean anybody. You can do it with euphemisms, but I think the truth sets you free, and the truth keeps people from going into denial about something that can harm the program in the long run. Because, like I said, if you keep accepting failure from a certain part of the program, then you will continue to fail. That's not why we're here, okay? So kudos to Des, kudos to the Raging Review. Go Cajuns. Thank you.
Thanks, Dad. And love
Thanks,
you
T
guys.
boy. Love you, man.
Yeah, love
All
you,
right,
Dad, and y'all be safe on the road, you and Mom.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah, that was my parents. For everybody wondering, they went down to Monroe and they're living the retired life. Get to come hang out with us, hang out with the little one, go drive up to Monroe, they're going to Biloxi to celebrate. So, safe travels, Mom and Dad, and I'll see you guys next week. It's true. I mean, look, there's a lot of, I keep going back to it with Coach Dez. I know there were a lot of people who doubted him, but I mean, say no more. We're 10-2 playing in another conference championship game. Dave Schultz, you've been waiting. Talk to us, my man. How you doing, sir? Dave Schultz. Going once. Going twice. All right. We'll try again next time. Anyway, so let's go over some scores around the Sun Belt Conference right now. Actually, before I do that, let's go through some statistics here. Let's see. Kind of want to go through what we saw today against the Warhawks. Once again, Cajuns victorious over ULM by the score of 37-23. Just to let you know, game was tied at halftime at 13. Louisiana came out in the second half and pretty much dominated for the most part, outscoring the Warhawks 24-10, especially in the run game. So that was really nice to see. Just to give you some, let's see, let me get some stats up for you while I can. Let's see what we got here. All right, just a little bit of statistical action here. Overall, Louisiana had 21 first downs. ULM had 20. Cajuns were 5 for 12 on third downs. ULM was 7 for 15. Big difference in the game. Cajuns 3 for 3 on fourth downs. ULM 1 for 1. And the Cajuns had 411 total yards of offense to ULM's 335. Out of those 411 yards, Cajuns had 188 passing yards. So that meant Chandler Fields was 17 for 26, 188 yards. Let me see how many touchdowns he had real quick. And I'll go back to that. And he had one interception. We rushed the ball for 223 yards. So the rushing game, just what the doctor ordered for Louisiana, to ULM's 167. We averaged 5.1 yards a carry. ULM averaged 4.6. Cajuns had 3 penalties for 15 yards. ULM had 5 penalties for 35 yards. Louisiana had 2 turnovers on the game, and ULM had 3. The 2 turnovers for the Cajuns came from 1 interception and a fumble lost, and all 3 turnovers for ULM came from interceptions. Louisiana had the ball 31 minutes. ULM had the ball for 29 minutes. Individual stats, like I said, Chandler Fields, 17 of 26, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Zylan Perry and Bill Davis both had great days at the office. Zylan, 19 carries, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Bill Davis had 17 carries, 78 yards, and 1 touchdown. Jacob Bernard led the Cajuns in receiving today, 3 catches for 42 yards. Robert Williams had 2 catches for 37 yards. Lance Lejeune had 4 catches for 34 yards and a touchdown. Harvey Broussard had 2 catches for 32 yards. Terrence Carter, 2 catches for 27 yards. Tavion Smith had 2 catches for 11 yards and a touchdown. Bill Davis had 1 catch for 3 yards, and Caden Jensen had 1 catch for 2 yards. Defense. Casey Osai led today in total tackles, 13 total tackles, 3 of which were solo tackles. Ty Lewis had 10 tackles today for 3 solo tackles. Keon Martin, 7 total tackles, 3 solo, and 1 pass deflection. Jordan Lawson had 7 total tackles, 7 total tackles, 2 of which were solo tackles, 1.5 sacks, 2.5 tackles for loss. And Carmicah Glass had 6 tackles. Cam Whitfield, 4 tackles, 1 solo. Cody Jackson, 4 tackles, 1 solo, and 2 interceptions. Amir McDaniel had 4 tackles. Just to give you some stats there, again, Louisiana victorious by the score of 37-23. Let's see what else here. Let's go around. Let's see. Actually, let me go over the scores real quick, and I'll get back to our speakers. Real quickly, score updates. Again, Louisiana 37-23 over ULM with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Looks like Coastal Carolina will defeat Georgia State by the score of 48-27. With this win, Coastal will be bowl eligible. With 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, Troy leads Southern Miss by the score of 52-20. With this loss, Southern Miss will be 1-11 on the year and looking for a head coach. With 10 minutes to go in the third quarter, Old Dominion currently leads Arkansas State in Jonesboro by the score of 27-14. Arkansas State currently already bowl eligible with a 7-4 record, but they are, well, technically as of yesterday, they were playing for the Sun Belt Western Division until Texas State, of course, defeated South Alabama yesterday by the score of 45-38, which clinched the Western Division for Louisiana. Kickoff at 5 o'clock. App State will travel to Statesboro to take on Georgia Southern. And, of course, the big game for us to watch at 7 o'clock, JMU will be hosting Marshall. All right, we got some speakers looking to talk. Sammy, you're up. What you got, man? Sema J. Reltub. Nope. Okay. So, Nick, I'm telling you, man, you should stay for the week.
Bruh, if I didn't have like a job
I know,
in
right?
Houston, yeah, no, I would, but no, I have things to do this week. So, thankfully, I am off Monday, so that gives me a little bit of a little bit of grace. But idea is I would work Tuesday, Friday, come here late Friday, and then do our thing. But working through, in fact, while you were doing your stats, I was trying to strategize what we will do for Saturday morning. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a thing. Let's do it, man.
We're gonna try our best to make it happen, and we're gonna make
I
it
will.
the
I
best.
will do everything I can to make this happen. Trust me.
No question about it. And again, just off the record, I saw Louisiana women's basketball played down in New Orleans at the Hilario Center for the Big Easy tournament. They dropped their game to Minnesota today by the score, I believe it was 68-48. They'll be back in action in the next couple days. I'll try to get the updated schedule there when I can. And of course, in men's basketball, the Cajuns had a matinee today in the Cajun Dome. They dropped their game to Nichols today by the score of 76-75. And some interesting information there. We had 3 players that usually get some play time that didn't see the court today. So definitely some interesting stuff there. Louisiana men's basketball now sits at 1-7 on the year. Their worst start since 2010, 2011. Yeah, they got a lot of work to do, man. It's very, very concerning right now for the men's basketball team. They'll be back in action next Saturday as they host Louisiana Tech, who's actually undefeated, might I add. So that should be interesting.
They actually just lost to Southern.
Oh, they did lose to Southern today, so they have one loss on the year. Okay, so I think they're like 5-1 or 6-1. It'll definitely be a challenge for the Cajuns next week. But also next Saturday again, Cajuns are playing for another Sun Belt Conference Championship in football. Kickoff will be at 6 o'clock or 6:30. Once again, location is still yet to be determined. Most likely it's going to be a Cajun field. I don't want to count the chickens before they hatch quite yet, but I feel really, really good that we will see another home game at Cajun Field next weekend as the Cajuns will try to win their second outright conference championship in 4 seasons. And of course, we'll definitely keep everybody updated this week. The more news we find out, the things that we try to plan for before that happens. So again, once again, tonight, just be on the lookout, guys. Be on the lookout. Again, JMU hosting Marshall. We want JMU to win. If you want to solidify this home game next week, the Dukes have to beat Marshall. And if that's the case, the scenario rolls out like this. If Marshall wins, we'll have to it'll be determined who hosts based on an average of 4 computer rankings. If Marshall loses to JMU and Georgia Southern loses, then Marshall will be coming to Lafayette next week to take on the Cajuns at Cajun Field for the championship. And if Marshall loses and Georgia Southern beats App State, the Cajuns will be hosting Georgia Southern next week. So it's either going to be Louisiana versus Marshall or Louisiana versus Georgia Southern for the championship. Once again, location to be determined. Well, guys, I think that's going to just about do it. We'll do some last minute notes. If anybody else wants to request to speak, please speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah. They got a question.
Yeah, what you got, man?
Well, first of all, you were saying like we only had 3 10+ win seasons because we've had 4.
This is our third in 5 years, I think. And you're right. No, you are right. That's our fourth. I'm sorry. It's our third in 5 years, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, because we started in 19. We had
19,
11 wins.
20,
20, and 21.
So yeah, that's right. That's right. You're right. It's our fourth. That's right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, can't be short gaming on this.
Thanks for the correction, man. Look, that's why you're here, man. Sometimes we got a lot on our mind, and you know, we're not 100% all the time, but we try to be right as much as we can. But that's why we got guys like you, man. Passionate former players and fans like you, T.
Yeah.
Terry, are you going to be making a trip down next weekend for the championship if we host?
Nah, man. I live in California now. I live in Monterey, California. I'm in postgraduate.
Terry, I get hated on because I don't go to games, man. What the hell?
Yeah, I'll always be sworn. Every Monday, I wear my UL shirt, and I have a UL flag outside here over in California, so everybody knows there's a Cajun over here in California. I actually met a few UL grads around here, actually.
Cool.
Some older people. So there's some of us, but yeah, that. And I just got another question. Who would y'all, if no matter what, we host the game regardless, whether who would y'all much rather play, Marshall or Georgia Southern? Because having just watching the game,
Dez owns Marshall.
Dez owns Marshall. I will say that.
Just if we play Marshall, we cannot have these long developing passing plays because their edge rusher Mike Green, I think that's his name. He leads the nation in sacks. We cannot do these long developing pass plays. Georgia Southern would definitely be an easier opponent, but Marshall would be a better brand to play against. I think get more eyes to the sport. But also, I think Georgia Southern would travel. Their fans would definitely travel better.
And that's what I was going to say,
Georgia
Terry.
Southern fans, my time in the Navy, some grads, and they travel a lot. So I think I don't know. I think regardless, we'd be looking at a good opponent. But
And you know what else too? The thing about Marshall, like Marshall has a storied program, and we've never played them in Lafayette before. We've hosted Georgia Southern a few times, so it's always good to see a team that we've never played before at home come in. And Marshall, I mean, they have a good brand. You know, people know the Marshall Thundering Herd. So,
plus they're still talking about that late hit
Georgia Southern.
That punt return from that first game. They're still talking about it.
Yeah, no disrespect to Georgia Southern, but we've seen them before, and I think Marshall, as of right now, I mean, what's crazy is the reason why Marshall is you know, they're in the spot they're in is because Georgia Southern beat them by 1 point in October. But you know, as a fan, I probably prefer. I mean, I would say Georgia Southern or Marshall as of right now is probably the better team. But I would want to see Marshall, number one, because if we really want to be the best in the conference, personally, I don't care who we play. I don't care if it's JMU. I don't care if it's Marshall or who it is. But I would probably, from a college, like not just being a UL fan, but a football fan, I've never seen Marshall live. So I'd like to see them come to Cajun Field. It's always good.
And I would say opposite that.
Definitely. That's all the questions I had, but I'm signing off. Thank you all for having me.
And I was going to say, Jerry, I know Georgia Southern people and fans, so I would want them to be here.
Yeah.
That's my my perspective on it. So I would say Georgia Southern. Plus, they've always been a solid program, never been cocky, been doing their thing. You know, GATA is the thing. I love that.
Sure.
Marshall just seems like feels like they think they're privileged and should be crowned and everything. So that's why I don't like Marshall. And plus they're still hung up on one like dirty play one guy had from like 35 years ago that they're like, oh my God, we need revenge for this. Like you had a whole quarter and a half to get revenge and you didn't. So Anyway, no, Georgia Southern, I just like them better. I would prefer them to be at Cajun Field. I think they'd be bring a better crowd, and plus I know some of their folks, so that'd be great.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Look, I agree with that. I mean, look, I agree with the fact that, you know, we know people from Georgia Southern. Again, I just want somebody new, you know. And again, the beauty of both teams is both teams have a good brand. You know, people know who they are when it comes to football for each school. And again, I don't care who it, like, I really just want to hold up the trophy. You know, I want to be on the field like we were in 21, watching Coach Dez hold up that trophy. So that's really what matters to me. But got to play the game first. And man, what a season, man. What a season. 10-2 on the year. You know, once again, we win the Western Division. Some people said it wasn't possible to come back to what we did a few years ago, but here we are. And, you know, right on the cusp of hosting a conference championship. So, anyway, guys, to Cajun Nation, take it all in. Enjoy the moment right now. Your Cajuns are 10-2, basically flirting with the top 25 and possibly hosting another conference championship. But anyway, guys, final thoughts before we sign off?
Glad to get the victory.
Kenny Almendaris, the best kicker in the country. I saw the stats of his competition during the game, and the Florida State kicker, if I remember correctly, he is 100% on the year, but only 14 on the whole year kicks. So please tell me why anyone deserves to win more than Kenny, my favorite Cajun kicker of all time, maybe my favorite Cajun player of all time. But kudos to him, and I really hope he wins. And I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to the players who joined the chat. I love when former players and current players are in the chat. Thank you so much for joining the chat. We're proud of the team, and we're proud of you players as individuals who represent the Cajun Nation. It is awesome to hear you, and that's all I got.
Well, thank you for the kind words, good sir. And no, we'll piggyback off of that. It's again, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun this season, and you know we still got more football to play, and we still got our goals ahead of us to win a championship and see where the postseason takes us.
Can we just give him the Lou Groza Award because of the shitty snaps that he's received all year? He should get plus points for that.
Yeah, well, I mean, and the fact that he's able to keep his head down and get his steps right in spite of that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The answer is yes, Josh.
The answer is yes. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna get out of here. Marshall's the team y'all want to play. Number one, we will get massive ratings across ESPN because as far as G5 goes, nobody gives a damn about Georgia Southern. They care about Marshall. They care about Louisiana. Those are two brands that are recognizable. You want to play Marshall. Dez owns Marshall, and you're going to be able to attract a bigger crowd to the field with Marshall as the opponent. I know we know some Georgia Southern folks, but the team you want to play is Marshall. Just saying. The other thing, when we host, because that will happen when we host, everybody that listens, and I know that's a lot of y'all, but trust me, our tailgate is big enough to handle it. You're all welcome to our spot. I have gotten approval to say that publicly. Come out, come get some boudin, come get some whatever kind of Cajun dish you're going to want on Saturday, we're going to have it at the tailgate. You're welcome. You're my guest. Please come and see us. Whether, you know, if the Raisin Review boys all get down together and we're all together, that's fine. But if it's just us, you come and see us. We're going to take care of you. Come see a championship game. Let's set another record. Go Cajuns.
Love it. And I'll second that what Josh just said. Like, that's one thing that we're going to pride ourselves on. When we have big moments like this, we're going to show our Cajun hospitality to anybody that comes visit. So definitely don't hesitate to stop by. Lane, before we go, any final thoughts?
Just glad to get the win in Monroe because it's always a weird place to play.
No doubt about it.
Lane fell asleep, man.
Nick, anything else before we go, my man?
No, man. Looking forward to seeing everybody hopefully here next week. Let's go, baby.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it. Thank you to everybody, fans, former players, current players, everybody for coming into our post game. Once again, Louisiana Raging Cajuns victorious over the ULM Warhawks. Final score 37-23. The Cajuns now sit back and await their opponent for the Sun Belt Conference Championship. Because they are your Western Division champions of the Sun Belt as well. 5th time in the last 7 years that they will be playing for a chance to hold up that Sun Belt Conference trophy. If you like what we do, please like, subscribe. We're on X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. You can also find us on Spotify and listen to us on Apple iTunes. Just want to let you know that we will also be on we will also have an episode next week as we get ready to take on whether it's Marshall or Georgia Southern for the championship. We'll preview that game. We'll talk about all of the things going on Reinhardt Drive to prepare for this game. And we'll talk about what this football team can and will or needs to do to hold up that trophy once more. As always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. For Nick, for Lane, I'm Jerry. And as always, Cajuns win, baby, in the words of Coach Dez. 10-2 on the year, Western Division champions, and a chance to win the Sun Belt Conference. As always, guys, in the words of the late, great Big Dave Thibodeau, bye, we out of here. We'll see you next week for more Rage and Review. As always, go Cajuns.